Hey there, this is Kimberly Inez Mays, and I am back with another video. And as always, if you find this content valuable, go ahead and like and share because sharing is caring. And if you are listening, you may hear a little purring in the microphone. That is my trusted companion, Kenzo Lorenzo Black. And I have learned from my many years of trying to do videos that if you have pets on camera, that is a bonus. People like pets, and I do not edit the pet out. So if you hear an errant meow or it's just some whining, we're just going to go through it. We are not going to edit anything out. And the topic of today is AI won't take your job, but it will replace your busy work. And I know this is a spicy topic going into 2025 because right now we are in the thick of it. You can't turn your head without seeing AI. You can't log into anything without seeing AI. And AI is on everything. It's like ranch sauce. You put on everything. You open your email marketing software, AI. You open your spreadsheet, AI. AI is everywhere. And if you're like me, maybe it's a little bit annoying at this point. Maybe you're like, you know what? I don't need everything to be generated by the robots. I don't need generative AI all over the place. If this sounds like you, stick around because I got some solutions for you. And if this doesn't sound like you, stick around because I got some solutions for you as well. Because there's really two paradigms. There are those who think that AI is going to solve everything. You know, if you buy into one piece of software, that it's going to do everything, and it's going to be magical, and the harp is going to play, and it's going to write your emails, and it's going to talk to everybody in your business. It's going to set all your appointments, and it's going to close all of your sales for you, and it's just going to fulfill all your orders, and you're going to sit back and you're going to be drinking frozen cocktails on the beach, and the little robot hands are going to work for you, and it's going to write your books. It's going to post your books on Amazon for you, and it's going to just do everything for you, and it's going to be just blissful and magical in the end. And then there's those who are like, you know what? AI is the devil. It's stealing artwork. It's stealing my IP. It's stealing, and I don't like it because now everything that is for sale is AI generated garbage. Is all trash. Now Etsy is trash. Now Amazon is trash. Everything is hot, pure trash, garbage. And that's what my little sister is. Pretty much that's her standpoint on it all, and I guess you kind of don't blame her, but that's the other extreme. So honestly, even though I love technology, I'm somewhere in the middle of all of this, right? I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm like, yes, it can do a lot of things, but it can't do everything, and we have to, use our brains. We have to have common sense when it comes to AI, especially in 2025, because we have to be discerning what is of quality and what is pure, complete trash. And I think when it comes to training and teaching and some of the promises that these companies and these businesses make, we have to also have that same discernment. So here's the reality. AI isn't really here to replace you, but it's to make your life easier and let you focus on things that you want to do. And I had the same message even before the generative AI explosion. Let me give you a little story. I want to say back in the day because it makes me sound so old. Right, Kenzo? I'm talking to my cat if you're not watching and you're just listening. Back in, I say the 2000s, the 2010s, the automation thing kind of took off where data-driven consumer behavior, that is the realm from which I have originated. And so we had these large data sets, and we were able to target messages. Based off of consumer behavior. For example, if you had children and you've purchased, I don't know, if you've purchased maybe a size 3 shirt for a boy, we would surmise that, okay, well, in 6 months, you're going to purchase a size 4 shirt for a boy, right? Because children grow. Or maybe you now need a pair of pants for your child. If you have multiple children in your household, we would then target multiple pieces of clothing to your child. Or in another vertical, let's say hospitality and travel, if you've travel certain number of miles or destinations in a calendar year, we would say, okay, well, maybe you would like to go to, I don't know, Thailand or some other place, and we would show you little bits and pieces for some destination or tell you to use your silver points or whatever. So automation, personalization, all of this good stuff is not new. It's not new. So AI, to me, is like another piece of that, where it's just making things a little bit easier for marketers to target you with. And what I see now is that technology is now democratized, where it's not only available to these large companies, but it's now available to smaller businesses. And my job is to democratize that, to make it available, not only available to, but to teach it to small, medium businesses, to say, hey, collect the data, with permission, of course, but collect the data, see what people are buying, get feedback, and see what people are clicking on, see what they're opening, see what they are responding to, and do more of that. Use their first names in the email. My goodness, just use their first names at least, and see what lead generators are working better, and tweak your sequences, and see and do some A/B testing. And you have all of the tools now that enable you to do that. So I say that didn't put people out of a job. It just expanded the number of roles that people can have. And now we have so many businesses popping up that allow small businesses to do that. So that's just an expansion of the creativity and the scope of capabilities that are now available. And now I think that's the same thing that we're going to see with AI. I think we're now in a perfect storm now, where everybody is throwing their hat into the ring, and we're going to see a period of adjustment where, to use an analogy that is probably going to be uncomfortable to baby boomers and older, I think it's going to be an arms race between some of these larger companies like your OpenAIs and your Googles and Microsoft and Anthropics and stuff, where they're just going to keep feature bombing us. But that's actually a good thing, because the price of the API calls are going to get lower and lower. The barriers of entry are going to be lower and lower for us to get in on this stuff. But with that is the downside, where a lot of junk apps and junk content is going to rise. But then we're going to see a leveling off, I think, of that. And then it's going to be a little bit commoditized, where now we're going to just see it everywhere, and it's going to be part of our standard usage, just like email marketing and automation and sequences. Now I think every small business uses it, or should use it. So yes, it's not going to entirely replace you. You're still going to have to do the work, but the work you do is going to be totally different. And the work you do is going to be of a different focus. You're going to have to focus on the things that your audience needs. And that's just a tried and true marketing principle. You just have to pay attention. You're going to have a complete customer avatar. You're going to have to know what their desires are, their pain points, their wants, needs, their goals, their buying decisions, their decision-making criteria. And you can't skip the work. AI does not allow you to skip the work. You still have to do the work, right? You still have to know what to feed in, because it's garbage in, garbage out. The robots can only do so much. And if you don't know how a large language model works, it's an amalgamation of large data sets taken from all over the interwebs. And it doesn't have a consciousness of what is good, what is bad. It's just is. And you have to make the discernment to say, okay, this output is good, this output is bad. You have to give it enough context so that it knows, all right, how do I make the user happy? Well, it doesn't say it like that, but how how can it form the response that you are looking for? And I see so many people getting frustrated with the tool. I'm like, it's not the tool. You just got to know how to use it. This thing has no consciousness. You can't slap it over the head and like a puppy. You can't, you shouldn't do that to a puppy. That's mean. But you can't hit it with a newspaper, which you shouldn't do to a puppy anyway. That's really messed up. And if you're listening and you do that to a puppy, you are a horrible person. But you can't discipline a large language model. You just cannot. And I see so many people doing that and they get really, really upset. They're like, oh, this is stupid. I hate it. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, you got to know what it is and what it can and cannot do for you. So you have to give it enough context. And then once you get the output, you have to refine it. You have to refine it to the point that you validate its accuracy, its correctness, and its relevancy. And you have to have what's known as a human in a loop. Because the last thing you want is for your automation to embarrass you. And I just thought of a cool new video topic that I'm gonna talk about later. But the last thing you want is to be embarrassed by automation. So that's that. So you will not be replaced, right? And let me think. So I'm just looking at some stats here. Some stats to reinforce what I said. So basically 70% of employers believe AI supports humans rather than replacing them. So I think a lot of companies, those who have jumped the gun and invested a little bit too soon, or maybe laid off or constricted hiring, are probably going to reverse or regret doing some of those decisions, just because I don't think the technology is there to completely replace a person. I do believe that now the job roles are going to change, where a lot of people will now be forced to use these tools or have at least a rudimentary understanding of how to use these tools. So whether you are a business owner or in corporate America or whatever, it behooves you to at least understand how this stuff works. There's no longer, you can't find comfort in ignorance anymore just because it's technology and you feel comfortable not knowing. It's not going to work anymore, right? So that is myth number one, that you're going to be replaced. You can't be replaced. You're going to have to do the work. It can't do everything for you. And then that's the second myth, is that it can do everything for you. It cannot. You have to be in the loop. You need human oversight. And the sample or the example that I am looking at is like handing a toddler a paintbrush. You might get something interesting, but it's not what you wanted. And to give you an example, and this is the example that I use with a lot of artists, right? If you give me the best oil paints, the best easel, the best canvas, right? And I can't paint to save my life. If you give that to me and say, Kim, go paint a masterpiece, I might be able to draw a stick figure, a house or something, and I'm using the best materials, but I can't give you what a true artist can do with a box of Crayola crayons. So I say all that to say is that even though we have AI, I've seen a lot of AI stuff that's complete and pure trash because the person using it does not have the knowledge to discern what is good and what is not. So they think it's good, but it's not good because they don't have the inputs and they don't have the correct skills to discern the outputs. So no, AI can't do everything for you, but it can be a useful tool. And I'll be talking later about how I use it as a robot in my pocket, because I use it to enhance the skills that I already have. So when you combine AI speed with your creativity and your strategy, that's where the magic happens, right? That's where you get some really, really cool results. So for me, for example, and I'll talk about my life and my experience, I started out as a coder, self-taught in the late 90s, JavaScript, PHP, what else? What other programming languages did I teach myself? I taught myself a couple other things, and I did it the very, very slow way of just trial and error. You make a mistake, you go back, you make a mistake, you build a little something, you go back and forth. But I have the domain level knowledge now to really look and see, all right, does this code make sense? So AI can code something like that, right? But I can look at it and say, you know what? This is what I want, or this is not in the direction of what I need. But somebody who does not have coding experience will probably take that code, execute it, and then find the mistake if they ever do. So it's like, does it really replace the human? To an extent, yes. I'm not going to be that naive and say it doesn't, but it doesn't fully. So I say that think about what your strengths are and think about how AI can truly enhance it. That's where I meet in the middle of those two thought patterns. The thought being that it can do everything for you. The robots are hard at work while you're drinking frozen drinks on the beach doing absolutely nothing. And then the other thought that it's all evil, it's of the devil, and it produces nothing but trash. That's the other thought. I'm strictly in the middle. So, Happy New Year. If you are listening anywhere close to January of 2025, and if you are not, Happy New Year either way, because every day is its own new year. And I say all that to say is that every day, every minute is an opportunity to learn something new. It's an opportunity to better yourself, enhance your knowledge, your understanding, your learning, and to understand it and to improve in so many ways. And if technology is one of those places that has you stuck, that has you feeling like, okay, I can never overcome this, and I know I need it for my business, but I just don't have the time to sit through this stuff and wade through this stuff, and it's just so fast paced and I just don't have the capacity, then I have something for you. The Automated Thought Leader Academy is a choose your own adventure style academy in which we just go really slow at your own pace, of course. It's a choose your own adventure style, short modules where you get actionable results, short videos, short assignments, and you just pick what you want to work on. And then twice a month, you have access to me. Well, I have access to me the whole month, but twice a month, Q&A sessions where you show me what you're working on and we go forward and we talk about where you're stuck, where you need help, and I help you out in that way. So whether it is a problem with your CRM, your email marketing, a funnel, a web page, or even something that you're working on with AI, let's discuss, let's have a conversation about how you're using technology in your business, because I feel that right now is the time that we all move forward together. And I believe in meeting you where you are. I don't believe in complex technical jargon. I don't believe in sounding smart. I believe that we are all smart and we can all do this together. Okay? So until next time, I'll see you later. My name is Kimberly Inez Mays. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to say that if you are watching live, just put #live. If you are watching the replay, put #replay, but whatever. Video's over. Anyway, see you later. Bye.